The Honorable Ombudsman, Mr. Suleiman, the Chairman of the Mauritius Revenue Authority, representatives of public bodies, members of the board and distinguished guests. Good afternoon to you all. I would like to thank you all for your presence at the launching of the official logo of the Central Procurement Board. A special welcome to the Honorable Vice Prime Minister, Minister of Finance and Economic Development, who, in spite of his very busy schedule, responded positively to our request to be our chief guest today. The Honorable Minister's presence is a reflection of the recognition from government of the important role of the CPB. Ever since he took office as Minister of Finance and Economic Development, the Honorable Vice Prime Minister placed all that is associated with the award and execution of contracts high on his agenda, and made it known to his close collaborators that he wants to get rid of the bottlenecks and expedite the implementation of projects. He even proposed certain amendments to be brought to the Public Procurement Act and introduced various administrative measures in that connection. The Vice Prime Minister is currently presiding a committee to monitor closely the situation, as he has expressed his determination to see the procurement lead time reduced significantly. Honorable Vice Prime Minister, we can assure you, at the CPB, we are very much conscious of your concern and worries, and we are doing our utmost to ease up the procedures and avoid delays in the approval of award of contracts. Since my appointment in November 2011, all energies of the board have been channeled into introducing measures to reduce the time taken for, firstly, vetting of bidding documents, and secondly, the evaluation of bids, which are the two core functions of the CPB. We recognize the challenges of this enormous responsibility and are working assiduously to make things happen. Insofar as vetting of bidding documents is concerned, we noted that the time taken for vetting in most cases used to be between 1 and 3 months. By all standards, this is simply unacceptable. The causes for the delay were, firstly, the quality of documents submitted by public bodies, which in most cases were in a very bad shape and required lots of refinement, and secondly, the vetting process in place, involving long exchange of correspondences and meetings to clear issues noted in the bidding documents. Since the beginning of last year, the board introduced a couple of measures aimed at reducing the vetting time. First, we issued guidelines in the form of a checklist with a view to ensuring that all the necessary elements are taken into account when preparing and submitting a bidding document for vetting. Secondly, we reviewed the internal procedures and put in place a system whereby a bidding document, once received, is examined within a maximum of 5 working days, and the issues identified are immediately communicated to the public body. The latter is at the same time convened to attend a meeting at the CPB to sort out the issues. The CPB insists that all parties concerned with the project be present at the meeting to take decisions, not to take note, but to take decisions, as we do not want to be engaged in lengthy exchange of correspondences to clear matters. The intention is to have a document cleared within 15 working days. I should say that remarkable progress has been made in this field. However, the target of 15 days is yet to be reached in certain cases. This is explained by the fact that at the CPB, we do not have full control on the vetting time. Much depends on the complexity of the project, the quality of bidding documents produced, and the response time from the public body. Though the committee Through the committee you are chairing, Honorable Vice Prime Minister, we are trying to identify precisely in which sectors and in what type of projects there are delays, so that appropriate corrective measures may be taken. Insofar as evaluation of bids and approval of award of contracts are concerned, the Board introduced two main measures aimed at reducing significantly the evaluation time. First, we issued some guidelines for evaluation. And secondly, instead of having evaluations carried out after working hours, we arranged for same to be carried out on a full-time basis during normal working hours wherever possible. I may say that the measures introduced by the Board in the course of last year are producing the desired results, as the figures for the last quarter show that the average evaluation time is less than the targeted 15 days as compared to 35 days in the first quarter of 2012. Honorable Vice Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, we may have beautiful legislations, well-defined rules and procedures, but if we do not have the right personnel, a personnel who is motivated and committed to the goals and objectives of the organization, not much can be achieved. Conscious of this, and in our quest for improved efficiency, the Board early last year took the initiative of reviewing its vision, mission, and strategic objectives. The idea was to get the staff at all levels to participate actively in reflecting over what our organization stands for, and finally, to have a clear view and understanding of our organization's vision and mission. The exercise carried out with the assistance of the NPCC was indeed very successful. And today, everybody has the sense of having contributed in the development of the vision and mission, which no doubt give a clear indication of the direction in which we all are determined to move together. The Board also made a strong plea in the context of the last budget exercise for necessary amendments to be brought to the current legislation so that the CPB may recruit the staff it requires to deliver properly the functions of the Board. The law as it is makes the CPB dependent on the Secretary to Cabinet insofar as its permanent staff is concerned. Unfortunately, though there seemed to have been a consensus on the proposed amendment, it was finally not obtained. And we continue to remain at the mercy of others to be able to have the staff we require. You will agree, Honorable Vice Prime Minister, that an organization cannot be expected to deliver properly if it doesn't have the means to recruit and employ the personnel of its choice. We sincerely hope that the needful will be done in the near future to correct this anomalous situation. Another initiative the Board has taken has been the adoption of a logo and slogan, aimed at sensitizing further the staff and the general public of what the CPB stands for. In that context, we organized two competitions towards the end of last year. We had some very good entries for the logo competition, and with the participation of the staff, we shortlisted 3 of them, and the final choice was made by the Board. Today, I am in a position to announce officially that the winner of the logo competition is Mr. Melvin Butsami, who is amongst us today. Could you please just give a round. Congratulations, Melvin. As regards the slogan competition, the Board was a bit disappointed at the number and quality of entries received. And finally, we invited the staff to submit proposals. Some interesting proposals were received. We drew from the proposals submitted by the 5 participants to finalize the slogan. I would like here to congratulate all the 5 participants, namely Ms. Priska Sebastian, Mrs. Renuka Chetya, Mrs. Simla Chinya, Mrs. Rajni Ranjatan, and Mr. Shailesh Gulati. Through the logo, you will be unveiling in a while Honorable Vivian. We don't only want to achieve the important first impression concept that every organization seeks to achieve, but also to radiate our competence and non-negotiable core values in a simple, clear, and easy to understand style. It will also, no doubt, serve as an inspiration to our staff, just like the vision and mission. Before I conclude, Honorable Vice Prime Minister, I would like to thank all those who participated in the two competitions, and also I would like to thank the board members and their staff for their unflinching support. With this note, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, for this enlightening speech. Ever since his appointment as Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Finance and Economic Development, the Honourable Xavier Chival has shown his determination to get rid of the bottlenecks that delay procurement in the public sector. Being a professional accountant and a former chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the Honourable Vice Prime Minister has a clear insight of the problems in the implementation of projects and has already initiated various actions to improve our public procurement system. Without any further ado, I invite the Honourable Vivian to address us.
Thank you. The chairperson and vice chairpersons of the CPB, all the various distinguished personalities present this afternoon. Thank you for inviting me this afternoon to say a few words. I think firstly I'd like to congratulate the CPB, the IRB and all various procurement institutions because you have managed to earn a well-deserved reputation for integrity, for honesty and efficiency and fairness. And I think that's the most important. Whatever else I may say afterwards, I think that's the most important thing. And I think that I know that the public has a lot of respect for the work that you do. And so that reputation has been well earned, and I congratulate you on that. I think perhaps I would have wished that this global competition could have happened maybe a month later or something, because we are in the midst of some important changes in the procurement process. Because it is true that we've had a number of meetings since Mr. Biari took over, since I took over, on the workings of the procurement process and how we are going to make it more responsive to what the nation requires. As you know, every year the government doesn't complete its capital budget for various reasons. Obviously, not some of them are related to the procurement process, others are other reasons. So it's important for the nation, it's important for our development, it's important for what we want to become, that we have a clean and fast procurement process, but it also remains a fair procurement process. So we are in the midst of looking at what things should be done to make it faster and more timely, and also two or three things we want to make sure. We don't want to throw the baby out of the bathwater, that's not the idea. So we need to maintain whatever has been achieved up to now. But we need to make sure that there are some guidelines, definite timetables to how long each step should take. And I know that you've taken a lot of steps since you took over regarding the vetting time, the assessment time that has been reduced drastically. We believe that we can still do a little bit more, and we should do more to ensure that the procurement process is faster. We need to ensure also, and we've been trying to ensure since last two budgets, that the procurement process, and this is important, is also fairer to small and medium enterprises. Because very often small and medium enterprises don't have the knowledge, don't have the capacity to be able to participate fully in the procurement process. And we're trying to make bidding documents simpler. We try to make get rid of some of the advance payment guarantees that small enterprises need to give in order to participate in the procurement process. I hope that it is working. I think we need to provide more publicity on what we are doing for SMEs, so that they are able to participate more in the procurement process. And I know also I see Mr. Janki here from the finance cadre in our ministry. We also wanted for SMEs to be paid within 7 days on the end of the work and of the invoice. I don't know whether we are respecting the 7 days, but for SMEs that is important. Something that we've done in order to protect local contractors, we've given a local preference of 15% of the contract value to local contractors who employ at least 80% local labor. This is in order to give a fairer chance to our local contractors and also to encourage employment of Mauritian labor. I think generally, therefore, what I'd like to say is that we're in the midst of a number of important developments on the procurement side, so that it's better formalized, it is quicker, it is more responsive to what the nation in 2013 requires. And I do hope that we'll meet, maybe with the press, maybe in a month's time or something like that, so that we'll be able to announce hopefully what we've tried to do. Thank you.